Hey friends, it's Irene Lyon here, and I thought I would take you down to the beach, to the ocean. This is the Pacific. I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia. And I want to talk about a concept that is often misunderstood, and that is anxiety. Anxiety, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, because we're using those terms in a way that kind of lends them to be very poisonous and bad, and we always are trying to get away from the anxiety or not feel the anxiety. And here's what we need to, I believe, shift. Start calling anxiety and panic as what they truly are. And what they truly are is stored survival stress. We could also call it trapped traumatic stress, but it is survival response. So if you go back to some earlier videos I made, and I'll post them in the Show More section if you're watching this on YouTube, there are branches of our system called the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system to be exact. And one of those branches is called the sympathetic nervous system. And that sympathetic nervous system is our fight-flight nervous system. It's what, if we are faced with a difficult situation, a stressful situation, a threat, an accident, a near-death miss, someone cuts us off in traffic, or if that's ever happened to you, I'm sure it has in some way, the blood starts to boil, we get irritated, we might want to lash out, we might want to chase that person, we might want to fight, or when we're under stressful situations, sometimes we shut down. We don't stay aroused because it might not be safe to do so, or maybe we've been programmed to, whenever there's a stressful thing happen, sort of shut it off, go kind of stone cold, numb it out, and save it for later. The thing is, that survival stress, that sympathetic adrenaline, the fight-flight, it doesn't just dissolve spontaneously, it actually stays stored in the system. And then what can happen, and this happens with lots of my students, this is why I was primed to talk about this today, is this is a common thing that my students talk about, is they'll be in the middle of doing really good healing work, and they're getting more safe in their system, they're growing more capacity, they're becoming more embodied, they're actually on the way to better health, better healing, releasing stress and trauma, and then all of a sudden they'll have this intense anxiety or intense panic out of nowhere. They might just be sitting somewhere totally calm, enjoying life, and all of a sudden intense fear and intense adrenaline just shows up. And the first thing is, we often thought something's wrong. We think something's wrong, this isn't good, how can I breathe this away, how can I get this out, how can I shake it off? But that is gold. So when that occurs, and of course granted you have the capacity to be with it and feel it and talk to it, and as one of my mentors, Josh Peiss, would say, party with it. How can you party with that anxiety, that high level vibration in your system? When we can sit with it, be with it, feel it, ask it what it wants, it often will lessen, it'll dissipate, and it will then truly integrate. And you see, one of the reasons why we store this stuff is it happens to us, or it comes into our system before we have the skills and tools to really be with it. And usually it's because we had various traumatic things happen to us when we were really little, really young, maybe even before we could speak or talk, or maybe when we were in mom's belly in utero. And we didn't have the capacity to feel these things, to cognitively process and say, hey, this is just my survival physiology pumping up. I should listen to it. We didn't have that capacity when we were younger, when we were in utero. It just wasn't online. So if you are an adult human being doing the good work that is getting to know your body, getting to know your traumas, releasing what is stored in the system, and you find yourself in a situation where there is intense feeling, sensation, and you start to label it as panic and anxiety, for example, see how it can be something that's just natural, it's just starting to come out, and you go, this is what it is. I guess I should pause, feel, notice, be with my body, slow things down, and let it run its course. All right, I'm going to sign off with this video down by the ocean because it is starting to rain. Take care and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If this is something that has occurred to you, would love to hear about it. Bye for now.